Ready, Bales? So with Miss B, we're going to try and do a little bit, ready, Bale? Work a bit with our little bed over here. So a lot of puppies have a hard time settling and relaxing. So taking the time to go and veg at times is really hard. The pups tend to want to do it once they're already really winded. So throughout the day, I do recommend to have it sort of be a moment where you might practice going to a target like a dog bed or a blanket and have it be fun to go onto that spot. So for Miss B again, we're going to go ahead and you can call this bed, place, mat, whatever you'd like it. She's just off finding a couple little crumbs that we left from earlier. Ready, Bailey? So right here, I'm going to feed her for that lovely name recognition to start. And then we're going to go ahead and see if we can get her yes. So when she targets her bed at any point, I want to feed her for her targeting the spot. Eventually what we're looking for is for her to go into a sit or a down on her bed. So again, I might lure her onto the bed itself. I might even feed on top of the bed. So whatever helps her kind of get onto the mat. The benefit of working with this place behavior is some puppies can then start to use this target, and then as opposed to being in the way or climbing into the dishwasher, you can then start to feed for this lovely relaxing position. So this is also the beginning starter point of stay, where you're going to eventually start to feed the beauty for not moving and for holding a position. So for our little Miss B right now, she's just working on creating value on the target mat. So I tend to, in the beginning, especially feed for when she's on the target, not if she comes off of it. That way, again, you're creating that value for the puppy. Again, with those bank accounts, like I had mentioned, each one of these new skills will have a bank account associated with it. And if there aren't much for deposits into a certain bank account, she may not find it very valuable to give this a try. So again, we'll kind of get up, break from the position. We haven't applied that stay or anything of bigger value when it comes to skill set. So for Miss B, again, we're going to lure her to the bed. I might again say bed and then feed while she's on it. As she starts to target the bed, we might even ask for that beautiful sit. So again, we bring her to the bed. If she's a little bit unsure, remember this is very new to her, so I might just feed for any approximation. So having Miss B go and check out the mat, having her go and set up and maybe sit on it is also beneficial. So we just want her to find value in targeting and trying it for the first time. Ready, Bailey? So I might get Miss B's attention, see if I can get a lovely little sit from her. I'm going to feed her for that response. So if she finds that the bed is more relaxing in a down position, I would definitely start to feed for this. This can be the beginning stages of a nice behavior called settling or a settle. I would recommend pick a slogan for the target you'd like it to be. So it could be her dog bed. So you might even, again, call it bed. It could be place, mat, spot, whatever works. I wouldn't name it the same thing as your crated zone. So if you have your crate and you've said go to bed for the crate, you'd want to call this something else like mat or place. So that way we don't get her confused. So right now, Miss B is again being fed for going to the target. Eventually, you would start to add in more difficulty down the road. So for example, right now, the time frame, which is my duration, is sort of short and sweet. So the intervals between each snack is not very long. I want her to think this is not so hard. I'm also, again, creating value by making sure my rate of reinforcement is kind of high, which is how many snacks she's getting within a time frame. If, let's say, she's doing stellar at this, I would want to give her a break before she gets overtired or wants to give up. So I tend to kind of wiggle my fingers, see if I can get her up and wiggling. I don't give her a snack for going and breaking from the bed position because, again, we're trying to build up value in the spot. So again, I might get Miss B's attention, lure her towards my bed. Again, yes, and I could feed her for that. And then we might go right into that lovely little behavior, which could be a sit behavior or a down. If Miss B is doing really well in one position versus another, you could also, again, drop gear. The gear is just there to keep her in your space if, let's say, she was typically wandering away or getting really distracted. So we'll kind of work a little bit with that little down. Yes. Gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and just feed her several little snacks while she's working on this little bed behavior. Nice. I love that she gets comfortable going onto her side of her hip. which means that she's actually in a very comfortable down position versus the down where they're kind of laying on all their legs ready to hop back up. Nice. So you'll see that I'm also feeding between her front legs. The reason I like to feed between the front legs, it can help my puppy start to value that staying low has the benefit, and that if they're trying to reach me halfway by grabbing the food from my hand, this can help, again, keep them softer. So it's very pretty with our Miss B work in this bed behavior. So you could, again, start to slowly build this into your repertoire. If you find that she tends to break or she moves a lot, she could be already overtired. She could be a little overwhelmed. She may not understand the exercise. Yes. So you may find that at times short and sweet, very good, successful setups to be much more beneficial for both you and for her. If your puppy, though, is trying to eat or play with the blanket or bed, I would highly recommend to pick it up when you're done practicing. Because if the puppy starts to play with the mat or bed, again, target, she might start to think of it as a toy and not realize that it's actually a sort of bed for relaxation and for settles. Nice. Beautiful. So Miss B, you can tell she's doing a real nice job with this lovely mat behavior. And again, feed. And then we're just going to get her up and wiggle. So I might just wiggle my fingers. I might even collect up her leash and get Miss B up and wiggling. That was very nice. Good job, Miss B. It was beautiful. So we'll give her a little break from the mat behavior, and we'll try another thing in just a moment. She did a very good job.